Welcome viewers. In this video we are going to learn about how can we access MySQL, or you can say how can we evoke MySQL stored procedures that are present inside Docker container from a Python code. So in our previous video we have learned how can we create MySQL stored procedures inside Docker containers. So in this video I shall use the Python code to access those very same MySQL stored procedures. So for that, first we shall have a Python class that will have the MySQL container connections, or you can say the MySQL database connections. Then I shall build one by one member functions that will call different type of MySQL stored procedures. Now the codes that I have demonstrated in this video, they are present in my website, thesiliconboard.com. The link I have given in the description below. You can go and check that, so you don't have to write anything by looking into the video. You just understand the concept. The code are already there in my website. You can go and you can just copy paste in your any favorite editor and it will run. So first I shall build that Python class that will have the connection. First I shall import, the bare minimum requirement is that first I shall import MySQL connector, myul.connector. So now I will have one class. Let's say I have given it a employee information. The first dunder is obviously init. Now inside init I will have a self parameter. Now I will have a try block. Now the use of try block is that we may have some kind of error while creating MySQL connection. It might not work, or the MySQL database is down, or the Docker container itself is down. So to avoid any kind of error, we should put the connection code inside a try catch block. So once I did that, I will have something like this, which is self dot connection string equal to MySQL dot connector connection t MySQL dot connector. Now I will have connector. After that I will use connect. Then we will pass the parameters. So my host is 192.168.1.201, but in your case it will be 127.0.0.1 because my machine is different where the Docker resides. Okay, now I will have the username. The username is dev1. If you have followed my past videos, the previous videos, there I have shown you how can you configure MySQL Docker containers. So there I have specified the username and password as dev1. So password is also password equal to dev1. Then I will have database equal to employees. Be careful about the spellings or it might not work. So once this is done, then we will have one except then we will have self dot cursor equal to self dot, then it will have the connection string. So we will have the connection string dot cursor. Okay, so this is our cursor. Then we will have the except block. Inside except block I will use MySQL connector dot connector. Then I will have error as err. Then give some message. Let's say connection failed. Okay. init dunder will make a connection and it will return that cursor. So once this is done, then we will build our first member function that will have the actual raw operation. Before that, I shall move the screen to MySQL Docker container to check the status that the containers are really up or down. So here you can see this container is up and running. So we can go inside it and we can get the data. Okay, the function is def. Now at first I shall call that stored procedure that doesn't take any parameters. Okay, so that is get first 50 employee. There will be a self so that we could access the cursor variable. So self dot cursor equal to in cursor dot here you will see one function that is call proc. That is called procedure. So call proc. Now inside that we will give the stored procedure name. So the stored procedure name you will get from here. You can see there is a stored procedure that is get first 50 employees. Okay, so under stored procedures section you will get the list of stored procedures that are there inside that database. So this name should match. So get first 50 employees. So I will copy this name from here. Then I will go to my VS Code. Inside VS Code I will write that name over here. So this stored procedure only return first 50 employees of that table. So once this is done, then I will create an empty list result. So for result, okay, no, this will be results. For results in self in self dot cursor dot stored results. This is a function. So once we get that, then we will have for then results dot append. Append the results that we have got. So here we will have result dot fetch all. Okay. Then we will return result. Okay. Now once this is done, we will come out of I will give one more line over here, and I will come out of the function. Then I will create one object. Let's say object emp1 equal to employee information. Okay. Then I will have print object emp dot get employee information. Then I will call this function. We'll extract all the first 50 employees. Now here we are just triggering the function that is present inside MySQL Docker container. So once we trigger this, if everything goes well, we shall get first 50 names of the employees. So let's run it. So instead of result, I had written result, so that's why output was not there. So I think it will run now. Yeah, now you can see we have got the list of first 50 employees. So this is how you can call the stored procedure that doesn't take any parameters. So this is type 1. Now we will move to type 2. In this case, we will pass the employee ID. Okay, so I will define a function called def get employee information. Then it will take self and ID. Then we will have self dot cursor dot call proc, and I will have write the get employee information. So this is the procedure name. Then the second argument is what is the parameter that get employee information would take. So we will have args equal to, then we will have, it will accept tuples as an argument. So argument is ID, then we will give one comma and we will keep as it is. Okay. So once this is done, then in the next line we will have again results equal to one empty list, so that we will append the results that are being retrieved from the Python code. So for result in self dot cursor dot stored results function, then we will append. So results dot append equal to not equal to, inside bracket you will go and we will have result dot fetch all. So now we will return results. Explaining the concept once more. So this is our stored procedure name, and our stored procedure inside MySQL Docker container that will accept one argument, that is employee ID. So we are passing that ID over here. I am going to MySQL workbench screen. So there you can see we have a stored procedure that is get employee information, and it takes that ID. So if I execute the code over here, let me execute it over here for you guys. So you can see this is the result. Now this result I have executed, I have got inside MySQL workbench, but I want this result Python code. So I will go to my VS code. So now once I trigger this function, I would get the same result what we had got over there. So result, now I will replace this function name. Okay, let's run it. ID. Okay, we haven't passed any ID over here, so ID should be, our ID should be 10004. Okay, this is args, sorry. Yeah, so you can get the name, that is Christina. Okay, now you can check from MySQL workbench, it is the same name what we have got over here. So in this code we could successfully call a MySQL stored procedure that takes one input argument. Now our next function would be invoke a stored procedure that will take one ID, and it will return the gender of that employee. So first we will define that function. Let's say def get employee gender. It will take an ID, so self ID. Okay, what it will return, it will results equal to self dot cursor dot call proc. Then I will call the procedure. So our procedure in the MySQL stored procedure is get employee gender. So I will have get employee gender. Okay, Similarly, it will have args, then there will be a tuple and it will take id, and as this procedure is returning something, so that out parameter part is denoted by 0. Once this is done, then we will just return whatever results we have got over here. So return results of 1. Of 1 means this is index 0, this is index 1, so we are returning 1. Now I will copy this code and I will change the function name over here, and if I run it, so I will get the gender of that employee. So employee ID is 10004 and the gender is M. To verify this, we will go to MySQL workbench and I will call this stored procedure over here. Let's call it, okay, we have executed it. Now I shall use select @gender out. Now check it, and there is an error, and see the gender is M. So our stored procedures is successfully getting called from Python code.